Ayo Sri Vrindavan, Sri Vrindavan, Sri Vrindavan, Jai Sri Vrindavan.
So this night I came and we were singing nice Kirtan together in this old broken down little house in a hallway. So then I said, I'm going, now I must go. And Ganesham said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to take rest. He said, where do you take rest? I said, I always take rest on the bank of Jamuna. He said, no, it is January, it is very cold. And you have no home. And you have no clothes, proper clothes. You have no blanket even. He said, you stay here tonight. It is too cold. I insist you must sleep here tonight. So I said, Ganesham, I sleep on Jamuna every night. He said, no, tonight you must stay here. Gopijanavallabha, you are his guest. You must sleep nicely. So I lay down on the floor next to him, and he came out with his old blanket and put it on top of me. So I was thinking, this is very nice, a blanket. And then he laid next to me. All he had is just a thin dhoti and little chadar. Not even a pillow. He just slept right on the bare floor. He just had a little piece of burlap he would put on the floor. And he would lay on his arm. And he was trembling cold. I said, Ganesham, this is your blanket. You sleep with your blanket. He said, no, it is not my blanket. It is your blanket. He said, Gopijanavallabha wants you to have this blanket. You are his friend. I am only his fallen servant. You must accept this blanket. I said, no, it is your blanket. I will only stay here if you sleep with the blanket. So he was begging me, again, weeping, begging me, take the blanket, sleep nicely. He said, I am an old, useless servant. What difference does it make if I suffer? But you are dear to the Lord. You must enjoy. This was his mood. He was worshipping the deities for 50, 60 years. And I'm just a new devotee. I just arrived in Vrindavan and understood who Krishna is a couple months before. So finally, he surrendered. Because I was about to walk out. I said, if you don't take this blanket, I'm leaving for the Jamuna. He said, all right. I will sleep in the blanket. And he lay down. So I lay down, and it was cold. I was laying. Ganesham was under this old, tattered blanket, but it was a little warm. So sometime later, I woke up at night, middle of the night, and mysteriously I was feeling a little warm. So I looked over at Ganesham, and he's just laying there, trembling like a leaf in the wind. He was And then I looked at myself and I saw the blanket was on me. While I was sleeping, he put the blanket on me. So very, very quietly, I picked up the blanket. And I wanted to not wake him. As soon as I touched his body with the blanket, he just leaped up. No need! I said, Ganesham, you're not even sleeping, you're freezing. He said, no need. You are Gopijanavallabha's friend. I am his servant. The duty of the servant is to serve the friend. Gopijanavallabha will never be pleased with me unless I sacrifice my life for the happiness of his guests and his devotees. You must accept this blanket. He said, you keep this blanket. You take it with you. I refused. So then I wasn't yelling, but I was just, no, I'm not going to sleep in this blanket. And he was insisting. Finally, I said, I'm going to the Jamuna. He said, all right, I will sleep with the blanket. So I lay down, he lay down, and I woke up a few minutes later, and I was warm. And I looked over, and there he was, suffering miserably, freezing and trembling. So again, I tried to really secretly put that. As soon as I touched him with the blanket, no need. He said, my life is to serve. He said, you don't understand. My happiness is to serve. My only function in life is to serve. Whether I suffer or whether I enjoy means nothing. The only meaning is Gopijanavallabha and Radharani happy with me? They are happy when I give everything I have to their devotees. He was so sincere. I would not accept. At least 5 or 6 times that night this happened, of the switching of blankets. I never came back there at night. In the winter. But then when it started getting warmer, I started going there sometimes at night. And he was aging. It was so nice. Somehow or other, he had made this little bed for the deities. And you see the size of these deities. He would, every night, whenever possible, he would put the deities in the bed and lay them down and massage their feet and put a little blanket over them. And then he would sing for them for hours while they were sleeping. But because he did this for many, many years, but in his old age, he could not lift the deities to put them in the bed. So anytime I would come at night, he would ask me, please help me put Radharani and Gopijanavallabha in their bed. I wasn't initiated. At that time I didn't even have a spiritual master, what to speak of being a Brahmin. But he would have me lift, because the feet are lighter. He would take the side of Gopijanavallabha's feet, and I would take his shoulders, and we would carry Gopijanavallabha and lay him in bed, and then take Sri Radharani and lay her in bed. And he was so happy. He would just be crying in joy that Gopijanavallabha and Radharani tonight get to sleep in their bed again. He would never ask me, please come every night and help me. If I happened to come at night, he would very humbly appeal, will you put Gopijanavallabha in their bed? Otherwise he would put them to rest standing up. And how much he was so happy, I could see. It was like the most glorious festival. It was like the most glorious feast to his heart to see the deities laying nicely in a bed to take rest. One day I came in the morning and I told Ganesham that I am going to Barsana. He started to cry. He was so dedicated to those deities. As far as I know, although he was living in Braj Bhumi, since he was about 19, 18 years old he came. This time, he was there about 60 years. He was here about 60 years. As far as I know, he had never gone to Barsana. He had never gone to Nandagaon. He had never even seen Govardhan Hill. Because he felt so duty-bound to his deities, he would never leave them. When I told him I was going to Barsana, he began to cry. And with folded hands, he said, when you go to Shriji Mandir, please tell Sri Radharani that Ganesham is longing to come there to see her. But that I cannot come because I am only her servant. And I cannot leave my service. Another time I was going to Govardhan Hill. I said, I'm going for Govardhan Parikrama. Ganesham again began to cry. He said, when you see Giriraj, tell him that Ganesham has been worshipping him and praying to him for many years and is longing to see him. He was seeing Barsana. He was seeing Govardhan. Much clearer than so many thousands of pilgrims that walk around on parikrama of these places. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur taught us, do not try to see Krishna. Decide to serve Krishna in such a way that he will be pleased to see you. When I heard this statement of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, sometime later, the remembrance of Ganesham came very intimately into my heart. Truly live by the principle of servant, of the servant, of the servant. It was actually in that little closet temple that I was with Ganesham and about two or three other old sadhus that would come to meet him in the mornings. And I had to leave India because my visa had expired. So they gave me two suggestions in the presence of Gopijanavallabha. One suggestion is if you have to leave India, go to Mithila, Janakpur. It is the Barsana of Ram's Leela. And it's in Nepal, so it's out of India. So I went there. I was in Nepal for about a month or something, and then my Nepalese visa expired. And I only had a 2-week transit visa in India, just to go through, and then I had to depart. So from Pashupatinath I went to Ayodhya and Prayag, and then I came to Vrindavan. I spent about 10 days in Vrindavan. My last day I did Govardhan Parikrama and then departed. But the day before that Govardhan Parikrama, I visited Ghanshyam Baba. And he and a couple others were saying, if you have to leave Vrindavan, because I was crying, I have to leave Vrindavan. They said, if you have to leave Vrindavan, you should go to New Vrindavan. I asked, what is this New Vrindavan? They said, Swami Prabhupada. He said, when he was here in Vrindavan, you went to see, because I had already accepted Prabhupada as my guru by that time in Vrindavan. He said, your Guru Maharaj, Swami Prabhupada, he was telling us that he has created a Vrindavan in America called New Vrindavan, and he told us that it's non-different than Vrindavan. So you should go there. That way you'll never leave Vrindavan until you can come back. And he even told me, he said, you should be pujari when you go there. So I had to leave. And I went to Amsterdam. And that was the first ISKCON temple I ever saw.
I would live with Prabhupada when he came to Vrindavan. I was with Prabhupada in Bombay for some time before, but I never saw an ISKCON temple. And the whole, except for about 10 days when Prabhupada was doing parikrama in Vrindavan, there was never any ISKCON devotees here.
So, then I went to the temple in London, on Berry Place, and stayed for some time. And then I visited my parents, because they were severely heartbroken by my spirit of attempted renunciation. So I visited them for some time, and then I got the news Prabhupada was coming to New York. So immediately I hitchhiked to New York, and I was with Prabhupada for about a week there. And the day he was leaving, there was an announcement that Prabhupada is coming to New Vrindavan. And he's going to give a 7-day lecture series on Srimad Bhagavatam. It is going to be called the Bhagavad Dharma Discourses. And he's going to celebrate Janmashtami there and Vyas Puja. And we need people to help prepare for the festival, because devotees from all over the country are going to be coming. So whoever can come, please come and help to serve Prabhupada there and be there for his festival. So when I heard that, I was thinking, in Gopijanavallabha temple, I was told that I should go to New Vrindavan. And Prabhupada's going to be there. So I went to New Vrindavan. And my intention was only one thing. Just to stay there till 6 months expire, then I can get a visa to come back to Vrindavan, India. That was my only intention. But when Prabhupada came, and I heard him preach, I realized that we really see Vrindavan through serving the spiritual master, through serving the Supreme Lord. As long as we have any selfishness in our heart, Vishayachadiya kabe sudahabhimana, Narottam Das Thakur, as long as we have any material desires in our hearts, we can't really see what is Vrindavan. So by Prabhupada's mercy, he inspired me that you should just surrender to your service where you are. You are here now, just surrender to your service. Surrender to serving, helping me in my mission. So I was in charge of milking cows and doing some other simple work. And then the pujari, the brahmachari ashram, got married. That happens sometimes. I was such a simple, new devotee. I was thinking, how is it possible? He's serving Radha Vrindavan Nath. He's a personalist. He's bathing Radha Vrindavan Nath. He's dressing them. He's feeding them. Why in the world would anyone who has such a wonderful service want to get married? It's inconceivable. So I went to that devotee. I said, if you want female association, come and help me milk cows. It's the safest way to associate with the opposite sex. Somehow or other, he didn't accept my advice. So he got married. Then the temple president said, you should be the pujari. I said, well, who's going to take care of the cows? He said, you do both. So I was pujari for Radha Vrindavan Nath. And I remember one day, I was putting the dress on Srimati Radharani, and something wonderful happened. I remembered then that Gopijanavallabha told me that I should be the pujari at Vrindavan. So for 11 years, I was not allowed to come to India. Because in those days, devotees were really in a sense of surrender, and they were very duty-bound in the way they rendered their service. They would never, ever, ever act outside of authority or blessings. So for 11 years, I remained there, worshipping the deities. And after I was given sannyas, actually I didn't want to take sannyas. But the leader of New Vrindavan, Kirtan Maharaj, I would be always talking about Vrindavan. I would be telling, because in those days nobody had ever been to India except a few devotees. When I was in London in Berry Place, I had this old, thin, it was one of those wool gray chadars, but it was really an old one. Some sadhu wore it for years and gave it to me. And I had it on when I was in London. And the devotees in Berry Place were gathering around me. Because they said, that's just like Prabhupada's chadar. They had never seen a chadar except on Srila Prabhupada. And me, they were saying, where did you get that? That's just like Prabhupada's chadar. We have never seen any. So I said, Sadhu gave it to me in Vrindavan. Vrindavan! You have been to Vrindavan? Interested to know what is Vrindavan. We read about it in Krishna, but what is it like today? So when I came to New Vrindavan, only the leader had been to Vrindavan. Nobody else had ever been. So everyone would want to know about Vrindavan. And after I would tell them, everyone wanted to go. Kirtanananda Maharaj made a rule that I was not allowed to speak about Vrindavan. That rule was very, very difficult to follow. Sometimes devotees would come way up to that old mountain farmhouse where the temple was at Radha Vrindavan, and it would just be me and them. It would be after the offerings and the artis. In between, they'd say, "Tell me about Vrindavan." And I'd start telling them about the places of Govardhan and the places of Vrindavan and the places of Nandagan, Bharsana, and start telling them about Brijabasis and start telling them about different sadhus I would know here, telling them about my meetings with Prabhupada here. And then they'd start telling everybody. Temple president would say, because I was a brahmachari, they'd say, "Radhanath is in Maya." He said, "He wakes up at 1 a.m. and chants all rounds and works all day. Why is he in Maya?" "Because he's talking about Vrindavan." And he'd come all the way up. "I told you not to talk about Vrindavan, you're agitating the community." One day he said, "Prabhupada said New Vrindavan is not different than Vrindavan, so you just talk about New Vrindavan." So when he was trying to convince me, and we would say, "I will never ever in your life let you go back to Vrindavan, because I know if you go, you will never come back." So he was trying to convince me to take sannyas in 1982. And I was refusing. He was pushing, pressurizing, and he had the whole community on it. He preached to the whole community to not give me any peace of mind till I took sannyas. So everyone would be harassing me. So finally, he said to me, "If you take sannyas, I'll let you visit Vrindavan." But I still refused. Finally, it was too much. I had to surrender. And after I surrendered, I decided I want to be unconditional. I knew I had to do it anyway. I said, "Well, but I still get to go to Vrindavan." Yes. So 11 years later, 1983, I returned to Vrindavan. First time. I remember I came to Gaur Purnima. The first time I ever went to Gaur Purnima festival in Mayapur, 83. Because when I was living in India, I don't even think they had the land in Mayapur. So then I took a train from Calcutta to Delhi, and I took the Taj Express to Mathura. And I decided to go according to my old tradition. I went to Vishramghat, took bath, and then walked along the Jamuna from Mathura to Vrindavan. But things really changed at that time. There was a lot of obstructions in that walk if you tried to do it today. So I came to Vrindavan. And I'll never forget. This is 11 years later. You know at Radhanath temple, there's the old temple and there's the new temple where the deities were at. Well, that old temple is right very close to Ganesham Baba's house. So I came and I happened to see Ganesham sitting on the steps outside the old temple. And now he was 11 years older. He was in his late 80s or 90s. I don't know. And he looked at me. When I lived in Vrindavan, I wore these simple white lungi that was kind of torn up, and I had a little chadar, and I had long matted hair, and I never shaved. Because I was young, it didn't make that much difference, but I never shaved. And now here I am, a sannyasi with a danda, with shaved head. So he was looking at me, and he was old, he was just looking at me. Because one great sadhu living in Vrindavan had given me, when I was living here, the name Ratin Krishnadas. I never got initiated, but he gave it out of affection. So Ganesham always called me Ratin. That means Krishna, the chariot driver of Arjuna. So he looked at me, and he was just looking. And I bowed down to him. And I got up, and he was just looking. And then he said, like a father to a long-lost son, he said, Ratin. And then he started to weep, he started to cry, and he embraced me. And he said, Radha Gopijanavallabha has been waiting so long to see you. And he took me by the hand and brought me into that same little hallway where the closet was. And he started taking off the jewelry of the deities and giving it to me. Saying, Radharani wants Radharani wants you to have this. He's giving me rotis. And I came that night from Krishna Balaram temple, secretly. I left Krishna Balaram temple that night to help him put Gopijanavallabha into the bed 11 years later. I even brought a couple godbrothers to the temple. And he was just taking off. He was just giving them whatever he could give them, he would give them. Bow down to each Vaishnava. Then the next time I came, to the door. I walked in, and I walked into that little temple. There was no Gopijanavallabha. There was no Ganesham. So I asked the family members, Ganesham, Ganesham. And the person just, with tears in their eyes, smiling, they said, Goloka. He was so old. But he knew that if he were to die, there'd be nobody to take care of the deities. Because that family had nothing to do with the deity worship. They were just working people and like that. So even though he was really aged and in poor health, he just lived to take care of the deities. So my understanding, because for many years I was asking people, is Gopijanavallabha? Nobody knew. Even that family didn't know. Then I met one very dear brother and friend named Asim Krishnadas Prabhu, who during the time I lived in Vrindavan, we would go together to see Ganesham Baba. And he told me that the temple, what he told me is this, that Ganesham Baba was just living because there was no one else to do the seva of the deities. But then one trust built this temple. But they had no deity. So they were looking for a deity to put in the temple. So someone told them that there's this beautiful self-manifested deity just in a closet. So they asked him, and he was so happy. After 60 years in this closet, Gopijanavallabha, maybe 70 years in this closet, Gopijanavallabha will finally have a temple. So he came here when the temple was built. And it's somebody else's temple, somebody else's trust, but he was just the pujari. And very, very soon after, because the trust would supply another pujari, as soon as he saw that Gopijanavallabha had a house, and he trained some other pujari, someone would take care of him. As soon as he saw the deity seva would be taken nicely, he gave up his body. A young person will serve the deity better than me. So he had no reason to remain in this world. When we read about the qualities of selfless service, when we read about the principle of servant of the servant of the servant, when we contemplate actual humility of the heart, Sri Gopijanavallabha empowered him to be a very wonderful, wonderful example of that. But only a few people in the whole world ever saw him or knew him. He was just totally an unknown person. But his life and soul, his prayer, where the people would just come to see the deities. Probably no more than 6 or 7 different people a month would come to see his deities. But anybody who came, it would be the joy of his life to serve Gopijanavallabha's friend, his special invited guest. So I think today Ganesham Baba is very happy that and what a mystery life is. But at the time, I was just insignificant little beggar sleeping on bank of Jamuna. And I've been given the wonderful fortune of now helping to bring 1,000 devotees for the darshan of Gopijanavallabha. Our beloved Srila Prabhupada was truly the embodiment of selfless service. Please forgive me. Srila Prabhupada left Vrindavan. He left his beloved Radha Damodar. He suffered heart attacks, strokes, poverty, seasickness, persecution to give us Krishna. Srila Prabhupada told us that he saw us as the representatives of his Guru Maharaj. And how he served and gave his life to give us Krishna. It is by Srila Prabhupada's selfless compassion that my insignificant self has been spiritually sustained and nourished to whatever extent there is, year after year. It is by his selfless service attitude, based on pure love, that is sustaining all of our spiritual lives. And actually it's Srila Prabhupada. His act of such humble devotion, even to wretched, materialistic people, that has brought all of us to Vrindavan. It is actually Srila Prabhupada who has fulfilled the spiritual desires of millions of people throughout the world. And even it is Srila Prabhupada who has actually fulfilled Ghanashyam Baba's great desire. That thousands of sincere souls will come to take the blessings of his beloved Lord. So we should know with great faith and conviction that His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada has given us everything. He has given us everything. He has given us the complete, unadulterated mercy of the Parampara. And what is he stressing? He puts such great, great emphasis on the spirit of service. Throughout his lectures, throughout his books, and manifested by his life, how much emphasis he has put on developing a proper service attitude. What is a service attitude? Service doesn't simply mean doing something for someone else. That is a very superficial understanding. But real service is selfless, unconditional, uninterrupted by various obstacles that may come in our path. Ganesham Baba longed to go to visit Barsana, Govardhan, Mahavan. But there was no consideration because his service was to his Lord. Srila Prabhupada could have been living here in Vrindavan happily. He probably would have lived to over 100 years old. But he sacrificed his health. He sacrificed the peace of mind of the holy town. He sacrificed everything, selflessly, to give you the opportunity to love Krishna. Mahajano yena gata sabhanta. Prabhupada taught us this principle and lived by this principle. It is the principle we read on every page of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Unconditional, selfless service. It is the principle that is broadcasted throughout the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, from the first verse to the last. Unconditional devotional service. Without ego. What is the pleasure of the Lord? What is the pleasure of his devotees? What is my duty to him? Prabhupada knows. The will of the Lord comes through Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. His Guru told him to spread the holy names all over the world. It became his life and soul. Doesn't matter what obstacles, what inconvenience. Doesn't matter whether it brings life or death. Because he had that selfless, humble attitude of service, all of us have been saved. The doors to the spiritual world of Goloka have been opened to millions and millions and millions of people. Trinadapi sunichena taror ibasi yashnana amanana manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told us to string this verse on the thread of the holy name and to wear it always. It is our life. We can evaluate how we are successful by how we are pleasing Krishna. And we can evaluate how we are pleasing Krishna by studying our hearts, our intentions, and our words and actions in relationship to this teaching. Trinada Visunichena, Taror Ivasesha, Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. Be humble like the straw in the street, tolerant like tree, ready to offer all respect to others and expect none in return. If we live by this verse, then we can actually follow Prabhupada's teachings and broadcast the glories of the holy name always. Today is the last day of our Yatra. This is the last meeting we will all have together. The purpose of this Yatra is not sightseeing, not just to come to a holy place and get sick, become purified from that, which I hear many condemnations of this. The purpose of this Yatra is to inspire us to dedicate our lives and soul with a selfless service attitude. To serving Srila Prabhupada and his mission. Because he has given us his life. And his life's contribution to the parampara was the society he created. Very, very sincere in your efforts. Srila Prabhupada has rewarded you by giving you the chance to serve his devotees. We must be convinced, not only theoretically but practically, that happiness is never in acquiring the illusory mirages of this world. Real happiness can only come through service, through giving. Thakur Bhaktivinoda said, "The sufferings and miseries I endure in my service to Krishna are the source of my greatest joy." Getting prestige, popularity, followers, getting money, beautiful family, nice home, good health. These things give a very temporary, superficial superficial, external sense of happiness or pleasure. But in service, even if none of those things we just stated are there, in service, we gain actual inner satisfaction. Let me ask you, were you happy in seeing how blissful all the devotees were getting served prasad? Who do you think was getting more inner joy? Those being served and eating, or those fasting for so long and rendering service? Huh? Would you have been happier sitting there eating? This is Prabhupada's mercy. This is really Srila Prabhupada and Sri Radharani's mercy, that we can understand this principle practically, that our real happiness isn't sacrifice of service. And the more that service is unconditional and selfless, the more it is a service of love, of pure love. It is that pure love for Krishna that every soul is longing for, and nothing can replace it. We must long for that love. But we have no qualification. We're so far away from that standard of unconditional love. But if we serve sincerely, with humility, and we're desperately, desperately, desperately trying to chant the holy names properly, then Krishna will see our efforts. Like that little sparrow trying to dry up the ocean. When Krishna sees we're sincere and determined with the right purpose, he will bestow that love upon us through the mercy of Guru and the Vaishnavas. Actually, your service to the devotees during Prabhupada's festival will perhaps give faith and happiness to people all over the world, even those who are thousands of miles away when they hear about it. It is preaching. If we become proud, we have served nicely. And that pride neutralizes the effects of the great benediction we received. But if we feel ourselves unqualified, but grateful for the causeless mercy that I was allowed to serve amongst other Vaishnavas, soon Krishna will bestow the prime benediction of pure love within our hearts. So I know all of you work very hard to do this. And on behalf of Srila Prabhupada, and on behalf of all the leaders of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness and all the devotees who have given their lives, I very gratefully thank all of you very much. Let this be a lesson of what is of real value to the heart. I'd like to also thank all of you for your incredible enthusiasm throughout this festival. Many of you have gotten sick physically, and of course, many thorns in your feet, much dust in your lungs. But still, I didn't hear anyone complaining. Everyone is just trying to get purified and trying to help all the other devotees be happy in Vrindavan. And especially thank you for tolerating me. I honestly and sincerely do not know how you do it, or why you do it, but you do it. And it's some special magic of Srila Prabhupada. If you can somehow or other see his eternally resplendent divine mercy through a little piece of garbage on the road like me, that is his inconceivable power. So I thank all of you very, very much, and pray that when you return to your homes, you bring the real spirit of Vrindavan, selfless service, and the longing for complete attachment to Sri Sri Radha, Gopinath. And complete determination to glorify them by hearing and chanting their holy names.
Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Buddhale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Satarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, everybody. Radhe Radhe, Ramo Ramo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Much louder, please. Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody dance. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,